Whee!
We got Avana Intuitive today with us, and AKA her. What do they call that with the superheroes? They're what's the word? I
I
can't think of the word, Ivana. We've been laughing it up and talking backstage. But we got Super Duper Girl also with us.
That's right. I always consider my higher self as my super duper girl messages, right? They're all channeled from me through me. And I'm like, there you go.
And they're uplifting, they're funny, they're light filled. It's just like you can't keep taking yourself. You got, you know, it's like they say, you can't take yourself so seriously. You got to laugh. You got to have fun.
We are here to have fun. We're here to have fun.
Avana is going to share the story with us today about how Super Duper Girl came to be. So watch. I'll be after the show. I'll be eating dinner. I'm like, that's the word I wanted to use.
No worries.
Goodness.
We know what you're talking about.
Alrighty, everybody, just have some patience with me tonight with chat, y'all. My mouse decided to die about 45 minutes ago, so I will be very careful and try not to, as chat's jumping, time anybody out. But if I do, it was not meant to in any way intentional. So right off the bat, Jen is here with us. Joyful Journey. Hello, my dear.
Journey.
And this crazy gal, she's here. Hi, Avana. My kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's good, clean, crazy, right?
Yes. And Dina here, Shaw Woman. And Dina says, I can say a lot about this topic, but I haven't been successful in implementing them. We have up and down days. It's okay.
Absolutely.
And Ness is here. Hello,
Hi,
Ness. And when it comes to messages today, what we're going to do is this show is really about more of having my guests share their passions and what they love to do that helps them think outside of the box in their daily lives when it comes to creative solutions to, personal, work, spiritual. This is a lot of a discussion and just kind of sharing our experiences. Some people may like to take notes. I've had people say, let me grab paper and pen, take notes down. And typically, if there's time left, we may do like a few creative themed readings. But I would just love to have this conversation about the law of attraction. It's a class that Avana has taken, a workshop, and I think it would be fabulous. She agreed to come on and do this with me. So thank you. So this is where we're going to be going. And we'll likely do like a collective at least for everybody.
Yeah. This isn't I'm sure this is not going to take like a whole hour to go through, believe me. But yeah, we'll have time to talk and we'll have time to do something.
And we'll have discussion.
Yeah.
Chats are amazing. People love to share their insights and may have questions. So this is all about a safe space in my chat. So I make sure that, people who have questions or concerns or want to share their experiences, that stays open, as long as it's respectful. But these are the best chatters,
Yeah, I love that. So. Yeah. Yep.
All righty. Ramona Moonscarab is here. Hello, Ramona.
Hello.
Thank you for popping in. Somebody new to me. Hello, Jan.
Hi, Jan.
I hope I am in the right place.
You are absolutely in the right place.
Perfect.
It says, and then she said, it says Jan, but it is actually Marlene. So, okay.
Okay. And
we'll
Moira's here. Hello, Moira.
Hello.
Saying hi. Hello. And everybody at 8:00, when around the time we'll probably be wrapping up, Karen, who is Care Bear Bard of Cards, she will be discussing the topic of people pleasing with Sylvia of Colorful Foresight on her channel. So head over at 8:00 and join in that conversation, because we all know about the whole people pleasing issue. Been there, done that.
You know that people pleasing issue.
Yep. So Janet DC, hello, welcome, my dear. That I'm glad, because when Avana and I get together, we get very giggly. It's just that girl energy. It's like, Avana, could you imagine if we actually got together for like a coffee or something? People be like, what the hell is that?
No, because I think that the energy would be like when me and my sister get together.
Yeah.
We're like,
don't give them women any more caffeine.
Right?
And yes, laughter is healing.
Totally.
It is. And that's part of this show too is and I'll get to that in just a second. Ramon is just loving it. Hello, Lori. Good to see you,
Hi.
my dear.
Good evening.
Jessica is here.
Hi.
Oh, Flowing. And I learned that Flowing's name is Carmela. So hi,
Hi,
Carmela.
Carmela.
What a
Nice.
beautiful name. Isn't
It
that? I
is.
love it. And let's see. It's Marlene. Okay, Marlene. We'll try to remember that. I remember the song from the Bay City Rollers. Hey, Marlena. Remember? Does anybody remember the Bay City Rollers?
I remember the
Am I
name.
the
I
only
don't
one?
know if I remember the song.
It was Marlena, but when I saw Marlene, I started hearing
Yeah.
that song
Yeah.
in my head. So love it.
Nice. I
And
love
she's
that
like,
too.
"Yay, Avana!" So, and here's Kaylee and her other channel, Woo Woo Wonderment.
I love
Hello.
that name.
We also know her
Wonderment.
as Fogo Pogo. So that's the same Kaylee.
Okay.
Oh, she goes, whoops, need to switch accounts. No, Kaylee, I think, well, make sure that you get someone to put your link in the chat because we want to build up your channel too. And
Absolutely.
Moira says, people pleasing is not my issue. Nope. I've come to learn that. And then here she is. Fogo,
There we go. I said the same thing.
I need some happy laughter. Bring it on.
Love it.
So, yes, everybody. Yes, and look at Carmela. Beautiful name.
That
It
is.
isn't
That
it?
is a beautiful name. Yeah.
And here is the link to the show at 8
Well,
o'clock.
thank you.
So that's definitely, boy, that could take a couple episodes because,
Easily.
last year,
Depending on what
boundaries
day
was
it
my
is.
word. Boundaries was my word last year, and this year is authenticity. So,
Nice.
yippers.
Yeah, I love that.
All righty. Okay. So I believe we got all the hellos out of the way. So just really quick for people who are new to my channel or to this segment, thinking outside of the box is a popular I don't say catchphrase, I guess nowadays, but it's something that my counselor would love to use a lot in our women's group. When I get to go to women's group, we come in, we share our life stories, and we it's about healing and creating a bond between us women in our groups. And Kathy loves to say, well, come on, ladies, let's think outside of the box. How can we look at our daily lives from a different perspective? How can she goes like for Heather, she does creativity. Then she would talk to somebody else and it's like, you're a grandmother, you understand children, somebody was education. So we all come from different backgrounds that all takes a creative because we're all creative, we're the universe, which is part of the law of attraction. And so taking those things that we are passionate about in our lives and using that to help ourselves see outside the box, to think outside of the box, and to help others as well. And when Avana and I decided we were going to do another show together, she was like, well, I just learned something called the law of attraction. I took a workshop and I was like, perfect for this segment because the law of attraction and things that she has learned has helped her in her personal life to look at things in a different creative perspective and thinking outside of the box. So I am going to give her over to everybody. Her information is in the chat. She has a website as well, and she's also certified now to teach what she has learned in this workshop. And that information is also on Avana's website, along with private readings and Akashic readings. But I will be quiet now and I'll give the floor over to my guest.
Well, thank you so much for having me on, Heather. I am so happy to be here and so happy to see you and see everybody in chat. It's always a nice treat. I'm just going to start from the beginning, right? A couple weeks ago, I was listening. I don't know if anyone is familiar with Alex Ferrari's Next Level Soul podcast. He had a person on named Mike Dooley. Never, ever, ever heard of Mike Dooley before. Mike Dooley, turns out, has written a book called Infinite Possibilities. And he also has a website called Tut, that's TUT.com. You can go there and he sends out a daily note from the universe, which I signed up for a couple of months ago. And they're free. They're Monday through Friday. It's just a quick email, and I might be a text now too. I'm not sure about that, but I get a quick email, a note from the universe. And he talked about on this podcast how he got started doing that. He had hit rock bottom in his life financially, and with his girlfriend broke up with him. He didn't lose his business, but he was closing his business. Just a number of things that happened, and he realized that he was 40 years old at the time, and he kind of had to start again. And he, started to work with this law of attraction and with this infinite possibilities idea. And that's the training that I took the last weekend. I'm certainly not an expert on it. I'm always happy to field questions or maybe have to look some things up. But I have noticed that in my own life, I have actually been using this law of attraction too. Okay. Like without even taking any training and things, trying to think more positively, trying to move forward. Right. And basically, there's a couple of steps that, you can take. And the first thing that he talked about and that you would think about is he kind of goes like this, right? What does this 3 mean? Thoughts become things. Our thoughts become things. If we have negative thoughts, we attract negative energies. If we have positive thoughts, we attract positive energy. So we want to be, how I look at it is, and again, and this is not giving any advice to anyone, just talking about how things that have worked for me, moving forward, thinking positively about stuff, as you move forward. During the training, I had an opportunity to talk with him in the one, not the podcast, but in the one breakout session. And, I had told him when I heard him speak on the Next Level Soul podcast, he had talked about these universal messages, these emails every day. That actually, he built that up from just a few, like 1,000 people to over 1 million people now getting those daily. And I told him, I said, you know what? One day I was sitting here thinking about what can I put on my YouTube channel? And I thought about Super Duper Girl. I said, I received the inspiration for that, right? But I said, but it was your story that had me put it out there because you put out messages. I mean, I don't have a lot of subscribers and things. So I thought, well, what's the point? Right away, we start thinking about, well, what's the point? Why would I do it? Who's going to listen to it? I said,
thinking.
Right? Exactly. I mean, we all do this.
Yes.
I mean, we all do
We're
this. You
human.
have a great idea, and then it's like, who's gonna care, right? What's the difference? But there is a difference, and there, you for me, I found that doing that Super Duper Girl short every week, I have fun doing it. I try to get a positive message out there. They're only 60 seconds, so I don't have to do a lot of, production time to get it out there. And it was because of watching him on this podcast that I, on YouTube, that I said, you know what, I am going to do this. And I am really just having a lot of fun doing it every week. So that's kind of the first thing. So he talks about thoughts, we talk about our thoughts become things. And then we have to think about what are our beliefs. Our thoughts become things. But before we get to our thoughts are based on what our beliefs are. And he gives kind of a good example of that, saying, say you're getting ready to go on vacation and you are worried your house is going to get broken into. But you go on vacation, it turns out that happens. And then you come back and you say, you know what? I knew it. I knew my house was going to get broken into. That means all people are bad, right? No, people cannot be trusted. You kind of have to take your thoughts, your things, to your thoughts to what is my basic belief system on the thoughts that I'm having. Sometimes you have to dig a little deeper to find out why, what are my core beliefs on an issue? If I believe that I'm not going to be listened to or heard or I don't matter, I'm probably not going to, I might have a good thought, but then I won't put that into a creative phase and do it because I'll think, what's the point, right?
Exactly.
And it just keeps, you just kind of can have this just keeps kind of going around in a circle. So, and I do have to tell you one other quote that I mean, there's more that I'm going to talk about. But one thing, if anybody has ever heard the saying is fake it till you make it, right? You're out there, you're doing stuff, you're faking it till you make it.
I was just saying that today. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, this is funny because the quote they use is faith it till you make it. Have faith in yourself. Have faith in the universe. Isn't it makes it kind of like that energy is just a little bit cleaner, a little bit nicer.
Yes.
Faith it till you make it. Have faith. And also realize something that I learned too, is like I want to write a book. I've written all of one page of my book. And again, what
But it's
happens?
still one page.
Oh, this book's in me. It's
Some
coming
people
out
don't
someday.
get
I'm not exactly
past one
sure
page.
how, but this book's coming out, right?
That's
But
awesome.
I'm like, who's going to read my book? And you know what? I have a message and I have a path moving forward and I have energy that I need to put into this book. Someone will learn from it, right? And I will reach people that Mike Dooley will probably maybe never reach, or, you know, Wayne Dyer, the late Wayne Dyer, maybe never reach, right? We all, and not just me, but all of us, we all have a message and we all have a group of people that we are going to be able to, you know, that are going to resonate with us, that other people will never really have access to. If you have a good idea, if you have a message to give, if you have a direction in life you want to go, you don't know how that's going to ripple all that positivity and all that high vibration will, you know, help someone else in the future. So before I write things off now, like, nah, it's, you know, what's the point?
Write
You
it down.
know, now let's move forward on it. Let's give it a try. You know, there's a song out which reminds me, I love it. Yes. It's a Bette Midler song from years ago, and she's like, you got to shave your legs. Why bother? You know, you got to shave them again in 6 months. Why bother? You know?
During the winter, I say that. When the summer comes, it's a slightly different.
So you have your faith, you have your beliefs, you're moving forward, your thoughts become things. You want to do a little bit of work on those beliefs, because you also want to put your emotions behind things, right? You visualize my thoughts. This is what I want. But how are you going to feel as you're working there? You know, what you're doing, like your end result. Like, I want a new car. Like, for instance, you know, I want to start a YouTube channel. Visualize yourself doing the YouTube, you know, being on YouTube, having a show. You don't have to worry at this point when you're getting started how you're going to do it. That's where the universe, right? This
Like
is
I
what I'm talking about.
Yep.
I mean, that leg shaving thing gets me every time. I'm serious. But you don't have to worry about how you're going to do it. That is what the universe is here for. This is where I'm at. I'm going to, you know what? Thoughts become things. And sometimes we look at our options too at that point. So you have options, right? I mean, you sit down and you're like, well, all of your options may be crummy. Sometimes you're just at a point in life. Let's be honest.
I mean, we're human. We can't always be positive all the time.
Right. So we want to pick, if possible, the least crummy option, but we want to keep moving forward if we possibly can. So, you know what? I'm very, very, you know, small example here. When I clean the house on Saturday morning or whatever day I clean it, I'm like, well, I have my chores. I don't want to do any of them. And this can be used in all parts of your life, right? But I start out with my least crummy option, which is dusting. That's my least crummy thing to do. And then you kind of get on a roll, right? And it helps when you're following like the least crummy option. And sometimes that's where we're at, or the most positive option, however you want to look at it. That gives the universe time to start to work with, you know, get those energies moving, get the serendipity.
Put some good music on too.
That you better believe it. Doesn't it go much faster when you have
80s?
Yeah. I was going to say those solid rock, right?
70s, 80s, shake your groove thing. So I should dance.
That house is clean, okay? Yep. So having the emotions behind it, you have your beliefs, you're examining your belief system, but again, we have to take action on these things as we move forward, and it's baby steps, right? We don't have to worry even about how we're going to do it. And this is an interesting point, is say, for instance, I'm talking about starting a new business. It doesn't matter so much right now how I'm going to do it. Those will be answered by the universe. And once I get to a certain point, I can look back and say, now I see how it happened. I called so-and-so on this date. They had an opportunity, or they called me. The hows will come into play, okay? And you'll be able to look back and know what all the hows were.
That's what I keep telling myself. Yep.
Moving forward, you don't worry about the how it's going to happen. That's where our spirit guides, our angels, you know, source, they're all doing that serendipity, working through, putting things together for us, right? Don't worry about the hows. Those will come at the end. You'll have that story at the end of that phase. So taking baby steps again. Oh my gosh. And own that future vision of yourself, right? Own it, see it, feel it, live it, start to act as if. Act as if you're there, right? You're doing it. People, now I'm I'm not as young as I look. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. What I mean though is
look too bad
back
for
when
our
I was
ages.
in the 80s and was starting my career, the in the corporate world, it was dress for the position you want to be in. You may be in a low position, but dress and act like the position you want to be in, right? You're acting as if I'm not there yet. I'm not in that position, but I'm acting it. I'm dressing like it. I'm, moving forward. And that's kind of how it is. You act as if you're already there. And one thing for me, especially, was when I realized that I am, as we all are, I believe we're all source energy, that we're all a fractal of source energy. We're all energy, high vibration. When I realized that's really who I am, I'm going to act like that. I'm going to understand my value and who I am, and see the potential and value of everybody else that I interact with, because we are all one. I mean, absolutely.
Exactly.
I accept it. And that's
I
another
am
part of it.
enough. That's another important one to an affirmation. I am enough.
You are absolutely enough, right? In fact, I was listening to a speaker. This isn't exactly on the same line of thinking, but she was speaking and she had an outfit. I couldn't see her outfit. It was a podcast, but she said, I know you like my outfit. She said, because my mom always said, when you go out or when you anytime, dress nicely because you're dressing the Holy Spirit, right? And I'm not, and I thought, and that's kind of, you're dressing source, really. You're going out there, that's who we all are, right? So, I just wanted to bring that up. Oh, and taking action. This was a good analogy that they used. So you're moving forward, baby steps, okay? And he used the analogy of the GPS. So here we are. We're sitting in our car. We're putting our destination in. We're feeling it, okay? We're heading to wherever we're heading. That GPS does not kick in until that car moves, right? You're not going to know your next set of directions until you move that car. You can even move that car in the wrong direction and it will correct you. It'll tell you, make a U-turn, go down this street. So make sure as you move forward, you have to act. You can't just stay in one place. You got to get out there. You got to meet people. You got to, put yourself out there a little bit. That gives, the universe the opportunities to put more opportunities in your path. Just like the GPS, until you start moving, you may even be moving in the wrong direction, but until you start moving, that GPS doesn't work. Same thing with our spirit guides. They're not going to, if you're not doing anything, they're like, well, we gave you this inspiration, but you're not doing anything with it. No worries. No worries. It's all free will, but you're not going to find out maybe all of the other options that you have and all the other, coincidences and, serendipities that can move forward, once you start to move forward and take some action on it.
Can I interject something really quick?
Absolutely.
And I know that for a lot of us, myself included, from my experiences, that sometimes when things take so long, it does kind of get disheartening. It's like sometimes you feel like you are spinning your wheels. And if there are times when it's like I can't be positive anymore. This is, it's about being human. And that's why I love that it changed from fake it till you make it to the faith, because we have to rely on that faith, like trying to find a new place. I keep saying, I just got to trust the universe. We're going to find something new. But a lot of times, from my experience in the past, I've had people say, well, if you're not achieving what you want to achieve, then you must be doing it wrong. You must not be positive enough. You must not be believing it enough. And it's just like, so sometimes we have to, they don't realize, but we do, that we are human. We all have human feelings and experiences. And sometimes things, this could be a sign where things aren't moving the way we want to or going in there. That could be just very well a time and place where we have to just kind of focus on what's going on and see if there's a lesson being involved. But it's okay to have those off days where you just say, screw it, I'm not going to be able to do, and then it's okay to have a day or two like that here and there. Again, it's about being, human, and saying to the universe, I'm like, okay, I'm having one of those days. I'm overwhelmed. I know you understand. Just give me a little bit. Let me get let me get back, behind the driver's seat here and stuff. And
I mean,
then start.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it's okay to have those days. Absolutely. One of the things too, I was listening to Sarah Landon, and she channels the council. And one of the things that she brought up was And actually, if you listen to Abraham Hicks, they said the same thing. Esther said the same thing through Abraham, which is, wait a minute, what is it? I just lost my train of thought. Hold on.
And Michelle said, really quick, both of your backgrounds are fantastic. Michelle, Marie's here, Astrological Tarot. Thank you, my dear.
Yes, thank you. So what they have both basically said is where we're at, while you're even moving forward, be content in where you're at. Try to be as content as you possibly can. Always, yeah. Oh, gratitude plays a huge part in it. Absolutely. Being content where you're at. And then also being ready for, hi Gerald, moving forward, right? You're content where you're at, but you're excited for the future. You're excited for the good things that are coming your way, right? I mean, you just have to just keep that sense of being grateful and being content as best as you can, right? Abraham Hicks says too, sometimes when you get really in a funk, the best thing to do is really just take a nap.
I've been doing that the last couple of days.
It helps to, right, because it just clears all that energy and it clears things, and you're not just in that frame of mind where you are possibly attracting energy that maybe is not. Yeah, love that. Gratitude is my new attitude. Really, absolutely.
You should put that on a shirt, Jan.
Yeah.
That would be fabulous.
Yes, I love that. I love
Gratitude is Gratitude is the new attitude, or attitude. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Creative thinking outside of the box. This is what I love this show. Thank you, Avana, for coming on and sharing this with us. This is amazing.
Oh, it's just
like, okay, then take a picture, or I don't know if you're going to do a channel, but that would be great too if you did a channel, and but I digress, and I give it back. I get all excited when I see people.
Because you know what? Some tips for moving into the fast lane, okay, as you're just sitting here like feeling, believe me, I'm going to get into my personal story a little bit. So as soon as I get done with this, don't worry.
Sorry, I had the Eagle song in my head when you said in the fast lane. I'll be like,
I know the words, but I don't remember the words, or I tell after that. Or I'd sing them.
Sure to lose your mind.
No, yeah, there you go. That's it.
Yeah, this is an Eagles household, so there you go.
Oh, I love it. Well, but just be yourself. Move forward. Have gratitude. Be yourself. Deal with what is ever already on your plate as best as you can. Yes. You have to do that. Okay, you have to clean up your loose ends and things like that and tie things up. And you know what? The last thing that says is follow the fun, right? Have fun. Have faith that things are going to move forward, and have faith and gratitude that things are going to move forward in a positive way. And having taking that energy.
So good lyrics. Sorry, Avana. I didn't mean to keep interrupting.
Hey, no, I'm enjoying it totally, right? So anyway, talking about going back to the council and Abraham, council saying absolutely nothing could make me happier than I am right now. That's really a place where we really want to be in contentment. And, I am content in the moment where I am, and I look forward to new and exciting ways to move forward as I continue to create. And that's really what I look at us as I am as a creator, and I am happy to move forward to create. But now, let me talk to him about my story. If we have a moment, it won't take long.
No, this is what we're all here for.
It did take long. I mean, it took about 15 years. So my story kind of is a long story. I kind of have a story of two beginnings here. And the first part of it is back in November of 2021, or it was the fall of 2021. I remember thinking, when I retire in 15 years, I can finally do what I want to do and start my life. Okay. And I was having a hard time at work, and there were some things that had happened there. And I had really been, here it comes. I hope you're ready. And I had really been just really frustrated. And it was really, it was just hard to get up every day. I wasn't happy.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's just and I'm getting ready for work one day. And I remember thinking, okay, when can I retire? And I'm like, in 15 years, I'm like, all right, in 15 years, I can start my life. That was a thought I had many mornings. One morning I woke up and I just said to myself, you know what? I can't wait 15 years. Something in me is calling to come out. Something. I just can't wait 15 years. I have to start following my happiness now. And I was getting ready for work, and I sat down on my bed and I thought, I'm going to solve this right now. And let me tell you what's interesting about this is I didn't know anything about meditation. I wasn't meditating. I wasn't like this spiritual. I mean, this was a couple of years ago. I've only really started down this path a few years ago, but I sat down on my bed and I said to myself, what is my essence? I didn't ask, who am I? I didn't ask, what do I want to do? I don't never use the word essence. Okay. But I remember saying, what is my essence? And you see my face. I just sat there like, oh my gosh. And I heard, I am love. And I thought, I am love.
Oh, how beautiful.
And all of a sudden, I felt lighter. Weight came off my shoulders. My heart felt bigger. I don't have to fake anything. I don't have to try to be a hard ass. I don't have to try to be a corporate person. I don't have to try to do anything or be anything that society wants me to be, because I am love. And then, of course, we have the negative comments come in, because in my head I heard, well, people are going to think that that's like cheesy. And I remember saying back to myself, this is in my head, right?
Mm-hmm.
I thought people are going to think that's cheesy, that I think I'm love. And I thought, you know what? I don't care. I don't care what anybody thinks, because that's what I am. That's it. And I moved forward. That was in fall of 2021. I started taking classes to learn how to read tarot. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I'm I really want to get into this. I started finding people on YouTube with this spiritual message and things. I'm like, oh my gosh, all of a sudden this stuff just started appearing, and I'm watching and I'm learning and I'm taking classes. And I remember thinking, I'm going to start a YouTube channel probably sometime next year in 2022. I'm thinking around in the spring of 2022. So I'll never forget this either. December 27th of 2021. I was standing, it was a couple days after after Christmas. And I'm standing there and I heard clearly in my right ear, you're going to start a YouTube channel on January 1st. Huh? What does that mean? I don't know how to do any of this. What?
This is right.
Hello. I'm like, what? I'm like, that's 4 days from now or 5 days from now. So I said, fortunately, hi, Christina. I had the wherewithal to say, well, what am I going to do? Okay. So I'm going to start a YouTube channel. What am I supposed to do? And I heard quick pick a cards. They're my favorite. Quick pick a cards. Just do a 3-card pick.
Baby steps. Yeah.
Baby steps. I sat down at my kitchen table for the next 3 or 4 days, watched every YouTube channel I could find, learned how to do a video, learned about audio, learned about editing, got my YouTube channel set up, and recorded. And it was hard. It was hard, but it kept flowing. Right. But I seatbelted myself to that chair. I had a notebook set up on the table and I was like, I'm going to work on this every single day and get this done. And I literally started from scratch. I don't have kids. I did not have any teenagers who could help me. I had to do it all on my own. I'm like, I have no clue. Right.
She's a fur mama.
Yeah, that's right. I am a fur mama. So I ended up taping my first video. And I posted it. It was December 30th. I posted it to play on YouTube on January 1st, 2022. And I posted it. It was ready. It was scheduled to play. I then broke into tears and I couldn't believe it. I was so happy. Okay. Yes. Right. I couldn't believe it. I was like, every single thing that I've done in my life has led up to this moment of me getting this YouTube channel going. I'm probably the only person who's thought that. Many people post on YouTube. It's no big deal. For me, it was oh.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I kept putting mine off. And it's just just do it. Because it's never going to be the right time.
That's
and then
right.
When you do it and then you're done. I was like, that was fun. When do I get to do a live stream? And when you just
that's exactly
jumping
right.
in the pool for that first time, you get that cold chill. Then it's just oh, I feel so good.
Then I was so excited, right? Yeah. I mean, and then it was okay, then I found out I could collaborate with people and how am I going to do that? And then that started coming into place. So, it's just getting out there. So also, again, putting the GPS, putting the car in motion, like you said, jumping in, trying it, absolutely. One thing that
I like this, Jan. Jan is very
cool. Jan, you got it.
I like this. Is awesome.
Because that's something that Mike Dooley said. He said when he first started to do this, somebody told him, you're not ready to do this, to go out and do this, but do it anyway. You're not ready. but you're close enough. Okay. You're never going to be 100% perfect at it, but
Yeah.
go out and do it anyway. And then you change it and you move it as, you adjust it as you go. While you're doing that, the universe has chances to get coincidences, place people in your path, place things in your path, move things along. So, just moving forward. So anyway, that I'm going to tell you, I do want to read one thing that they put in the workbook. It's a little poem. It's just a few lines, but it's called The Meaning of Life is to Live It. Your name was whispered before you were born, and as if from the mist, your image took form. The spirit of life had begun its quest to learn of itself through the ultimate test. A being of light set free in creation to master the gift of imagination. And that's exactly what we're here to do, to master this gift of imagination. And I'm like, yes, I love it.
Could you read that one more time again?
Absolutely.
We heard it once, like our poetry show. When we read it, okay, can you read it again? So that
absolutely. Absolutely. So the meaning of life is to live it. Mm-hmm. Your name was whispered before you were born, and as if from the mist, your image took form. The spirit of life had begun its quest to learn of itself through the ultimate test. A being of light set free in creation to master the gift of imagination.
And you wrote that?
No. This is Mike Dooley. Mike Dooley wrote this, right? I mean, this is part of his training.
It's still a beautiful poem, though.
It is a totally beautiful poem because it's truly, it's truly what it is. It's like we're here to master this gift of imagination.
Hey, Kelly. How's it going, lady?
How you doing?
That's even the fur babies. Every time I have a slice of cake, I think of you and your hubby.
Aw.
Because he makes her cake. Really good cake, too.
Oh, man.
Creative solution right there, thinking us out of the box. Let's have a slice of cake.
You know what? I love that because that's part of the fun of life. You got to eat cake and icing.
I was just talking about that with my friend Kathy, my counselor Kathy. I consider her a friend. Yesterday was her birthday, and I was like, "Oh, happy birthday, belated birthday!" And I go, "Do you have cake?" And she goes, "Yes, but with icing." And I said, "You got to have icing." She goes, "That's the best part." That's so funny.
That's the only part. Okay.
Yeah. Everybody, let's send Kelly some positive energy and healing hugs towards her. I know what that's like.
Yeah, let's give ourselves all a big hug and send all that beautiful hugging energy out to Kelly. Kelly, knows everybody loves her. Yeah.
And because a lot of us don't know what we're going through, sometimes we might be up here laughing and joking, but then when we get off, it's kind of like,
absolutely, yeah.
So much love to you.
Yes, absolutely. Well, that's my story for today,
and she's sticking to it.
And I'm sticking to it. And you know what? Like I say, I've just noticed as I've gone through life. I don't know, too, if you guys are familiar with Bashar.
I have heard, but I don't follow.
Okay, because he also has a formula, which I was going to just talk about very quickly, because it's very, very much in line with this. And just for if you don't know, it's Bashar, BASHAR.org. He is channeled by Daryl Anka. If you remember Paul Anka, put your head on my shoulder. That's Paul. Daryl Anka is Paul Anka's cousin. And he's basically, this is, if I remember it correctly, Daryl is basically channeling himself like 300 years from now.
Okay? Oh, it was .net, right? Oops, I put
.org. Yeah, .org.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Let me fix that. Bashar.org, and don't change me autocorrect again. There we go. I hate when they do that.
So basically, he has a formula. It's called The Formula. It's very easy. Number one, there's 3 steps. So you don't get like, oh my gosh, how long is this formula going to be?
3 is a good number.
3 is a great number, right? 1, take action on the opportunity that contains the highest excitement. So if I have to dust and clean the bathroom and clean the kitchen, my highest excitement is dusting at that moment. And this can be used for everything. Whatever's in front of you, take action on whatever has the highest excitement that you view at that moment as having the highest excitement. 2, act on that excitement to the best of your ability. Turn on the music. I dust that house. I'm twirling around, right? Again, so you're finding your highest excitement. You're acting on it to the best of your ability. And the last step is act on that excitement with absolutely zero insistence or assumption with respect to a specific outcome.
Okay.
So you don't want to say
release all expectation. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. And if you look at life and you look at things like that, I mean, that is his formula, and it's for everything. Anything that's in front of you that day that you're looking at, pick the highest excitement, go as far as you can with it, and don't have any zero insistence on the outcome. So that's his formula. So,
and one of the things that I learned too from Kathy was like, for some of us, thinking outside of the box. She says that could very well be you, especially if you have anxiety or depression, is to get up, walk outside to your mailbox to get your mail, and then walk back up. Even if that's the one thing you did that today, and be proud of that and say that that was your accomplishment for the day.
Absolutely.
And, you know, then maybe the next day stay out there a little bit longer or make an extra trip, you know, or just to sit outside. And like you said, baby steps, you know.
Baby steps every day. Absolutely. And if you can't, you don't.
Yep.
I mean, it's what you can do.
If you don't put so much heavy expectations on yourself, that, you know,
Kelly, I totally agree.
Help.
Yeah. Yep. Because you don't want any expectations on anything. And you want to look, you know, and then of course, as you move forward a little bit, of course, there's gratitude, there's love, there's, you know, all the other things that you can add to it. But just pick what you want to do with the highest amount of fun or excitement,
and
do
really
it to the best of your ability.
YouTube,
and it may not come out to a conclusion that you want, but you're done. Exactly. You act on it to the best of your ability until you cannot act on it anymore, and you have no insistence on the outcome. And he said, and that is actually a formula that works like itself. It's kind of, you know, there's nothing left. I mean, that's it. He's like, we've given you the formula on how to do things. And I'm
small
like,
victories.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just, I want to plug in here really quick. YouTube, this is for entertainment purposes only. We're not doctors, we're not therapists, we're not counselors, but this is just information that we're sharing amongst Avana, myself, and our chatters, just to express different ways of helping us through our daily lives and sharing our experiences. And I just want to put that little plug in there.
Absolutely. This is, for me, this is for entertainment purposes only. It's only my opinion. You know, I'm not giving anyone any advice at all. Again, like you, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a licensed therapist, nothing. So, you know, it's just.
I mean, she's a whole lot of something, but we're just sharing, you know, sharing what we do, you know, and what works for us. And people can take it, leave it, work with it, you know, twerk it, work it, flip it.
All right,
so I'm just trying to lighten up and you know, and Kelly says expectations can lead you to a belief of failure, like you're saying. So again, like Avana was saying, baby steps. I have lowered my expectations of people. I've done my best. Sometimes I still do, and I still get let down, but that's where those healthy boundaries come in.
You know, it's funny because in the last couple months,
jazz hands.
In the last couple of months, just in my own personal life, I've been let down for two people that I can think of. Then you know what? It's actually a blessing. It's okay. I learned from it. I put a period and moved on. And I'm not going to sit there and did I think about it? Did I feel bad? Or did I question, like, what the heck? But you know what? It's all learning. You know,
it was meant to be.
Yeah, exactly. And it was just time for those relationships to end. And I learned some valuable lessons. And now I'm moving on. I mean, believe me, I'm out there, you know, putting this stuff into practice every day, right? On many different levels as much as I can, but I'm not perfect at it. You know what I mean?
None of us are.
Right. And it's certainly, for me, the way I look at life is, you know, the universe doesn't look like anything is good or bad. It's all just learning.
And there's some that are out there that sometimes pushes that positive, yeah, I can't even talk. That positive toxicity. And it's like, if you're not like with those people that I knew, you know, from my Reiki and stuff, well, if you're, you know, not positive 100% and you're doing something wrong and you're doing this and you're doing that, and that really makes a person feel less. It doesn't help because people keep forgetting we're all human. We're all going to be going
Oh,
through
yeah.
these emotions.
I mean, I'm glad
And
I've never heard that. Okay. I'm glad I've never heard that because I'm not positive 100% ever.
and it's hard
I like to
to,
have fun. I try to be
yeah.
positive. I try to be optimistic, but I'm not. I mean, I'm just a person doing my best to get through life. That's all I'm doing.
And Jan
That's
said,
exactly
Eleanor
right.
wrote that no one can put you down without your permission.
Yeah.
I like that. Making sure, let's see. Let's see. Michelle says, my husband took part in the computer engineering movement in the 80s and 90s. Oh, Shaw woman. It's fascinating to see him build and repair the. Yeah, wow. Um,
Yeah,
amazing.
there's a short between the keyboard and the floor, and that's me. So I'm
Mhm.
like the IT person's like best job security. So I don't know
Yeah.
anything about computers. That's not
And
my
I
deal.
really, another thing too, I took notes, Ivana, that I really liked what you said about instead of the fake it till you make it with the faith instead, because sometimes when we try to fake stuff and, kind of try to hide what's really going on and then kind of beating ourselves up for it or not, or reaching those expectations sometimes of ourselves that we kind of set high or we see other people maybe try to set for us that isn't for our highest good or for our best interest. I know that the word the for the not the term yeah the term that imposter syndrome that's been going around a lot more too, and a lot of people are trying to find that balance, and that's why I love the faith, because if you tell people to fake it and they struggle like a lot of us do, they're going to be like, well, I'm being an imposter, then I'm
Right,
trying to
right.
that. But when you use
I
the word
understand the
faith,
concept of the
I
fake it till you
love
make it, but that word
the
faith just
faith
puts
is
a beautiful
perfect.
positive
It's
like
supportive.
emotion around it. Right,
Yes,
right, supportive
I love that.
versus like the fake it. And
I
it,
love
I
that you
understand the
brought
point.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
I love that you brought that.
Thank you, thank you.
Um,
I when I heard it, I wrote that one down right away. I'm like, oh, I love that.
and Floyd is right. Being human comes with faults, and that's okay. And
Hey,
sometimes people forget that.
I
Certain
have a
people.
friend who says if you got a pulse, you got problems, and you
Yes,
know what?
Harley.
That's just life. You know.
And Dina also shared emotions let us know what we are attracted to. Yes. And of
Yeah.
course,
Yes.
people like myself, and I know that Kelly's been very open and honest about, and so has Dina. When you have a mental health diagnosis, we can't always be in a place of positivity. We can work at it and do our best, because a lot of times what we have to, for some of us, that's a daily struggle. It's a
Yes.
challenge. It's a victory. It's survival. And we are going to have days where it's just that we can't reach that or maintain that positivity for certain periods of time. But and that's why we have, you know, we need to remind ourselves that, like Floyd said, we are human. We are going to go through these moments, and the universe knows that because we are a part of the universe. So the universe wouldn't hold that against us, because that we'd be holding it against ourselves. If that makes kind of sense.
Well,
So I
yeah,
love that reflective
absolutely.
nature.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yep, exactly. Dina says, I strive to find a silver lining in everything. Yep. Especially where I live. Everybody knows what goes on here who knows me. But then, when things get really rough and these people I want to scream. I'm like, okay, Heather, you have a bed to sleep in. You have your room. You've got your shelter. Your fur babies are sitting there wanting to be on your lap. You got food on your table. It's going to be okay. And
Absolutely.
those little things do help you get through those moments.
And I
It
heard a
really
saying
does.
many, many years
And
ago,
yes,
and it said, as your fear goes up, okay, your faith in
yes.
the universe goes down, right? So if you
Hmm.
feel like, I have faith and I know I'm a divine being, I believe that we all are, as that my fear is going up, my faith is going down. But if I have faith in the
Hmm.
universe, I have faith that things are going to work out, faith it until I make it,
Hmm.
helps me sometimes to regulate my fear, because sometimes I am fearful and I am like, oh my gosh, I can't. And the
Yeah.
anxiety for me too. I'm like, all right, I want to take it down, put that
Deep
faith.
breaths.
Yeah,
Hmm.
right. Faith up, fear down, right? And it's just something that helps me to kind of like talk myself down sometimes from
And nature's a
from being
great way.
fearful and anxious.
And nature is a great way too to connect. Like like Kelly's outside in her car. She's in her car, but she's still outside. She's nature. She's got that. We can all take those things, whether we're sitting by a window, if we have our fur babies, if it helps us through with picking up a pencil or a coloring book, finding ways of being able to
Absolutely.
ground and center ourselves helps us maneuver those moments and says, okay, next day we'll try this, and then build up, like, again, baby steps, putting
That's
one
it.
foot in front of the other. And Jan says, I think fake is more of a negative intention, yes, implying you don't already have that quality in you. The word faith seems like a choice to believe or Jan, where have you been all my life? This is awesome.
Jan!
Seriously, I love the insights that you are sharing. I mean, everybody is sharing amazing insights.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, and Kelly says, absolutely. I don't like to use
Yes.
the word mistake because it's so negative. We do make them, but they're learning lessons. And
But they're,
sometimes it's
yeah.
really hard to look at it as a learning lesson. But when you put some space in between it, and you put those healthy boundaries up and you're able to look at that part of the
You
shadow
know,
work,
I
you know.
had something that happened to me at work, and it was probably 15 years ago. And I just reconciled it with myself like 2 months ago. And what had
Mhm.
happened, I'm not going to get into,
Mm.
but I really dragged me down for like 15 years. And the other, seriously, this was like 2 months ago. I'm like, that was the best thing actually that happened to me. It
Well,
took
I'm
me
hoping I can
15
say
years.
that.
It took me
Me
15
too,
years. And I
15
don't
years.
like to say that because I don't want to discourage people because I still
Mhm.
had a great life. I was still moving forward.
Mhm.
It was just something deep in my heart that really bothered me. And one day, again, just recently, I thought, that's actually the best thing that ever happened to me. That happening 15 years ago is what put me on. When I said I have a story of two beginnings, my
Mhm.
first beginning was November of 2021, which I told you about. And I
Yeah.
asked, what is my essence? But the real first beginning was 15 years before that when this negative thing happened. And that actually is what was the impetus to draw me through. Had that not happened, I would not be where I am right now. And I'm very
Mm.
happy where I am right now.
Me
Right?
too. It's been 15 years, 2009. That would be about 15 years
Yeah.
ago. And that's
Yep.
when January of 2009 is when things, really hit when they say hit,
Right.
yeah, I can't even say that. I must not be allowed to say that phrase on here. But that's when stuff really took a dive, when I saw somebody who I thought was like a sister to me. We've been best friends since we were 25. We got bullied together. We stood up for each other, and then this one thing, and it's just like, really, money got in between 25 years of friendship. And Jen and I
Yeah.
lost everything. We had to start from rock bottom. But it just showed, to looking back, one of the things that I can say positive about all the hard things. I mean, really hard, going hungry, not having money for, for groceries sometimes, or for bills and stuff. But what made us realize when that happened, that no matter what we go through, him and I are solid. We know that we can, so when you get enough distance after time,
Yes.
you can start peeling back and looking at, well, if that hadn't happened, I wouldn't have done this, which wouldn't have made me realize I had a diagnosis, and then things might have gone worse if I hadn't. But now that I do, I've been able to do this. And so sometimes you really have to break it down. And then
Yes.
even journaling, writing, this is another way of, thinking outside of the box, being able to deal with our emotions or our past experiences, is by writing, journaling, even writing a few words, whatever it takes to get you to get grounded, relaxed, meditated, where you're in a space where it's like, okay, being in the present is so important. I think that's a part of law of attraction, isn't it? Being in the present, because if
Yes.
you think about the past, that
Yes.
sometimes puts fear and negativity. I
Right.
know right
The
now
future's
thinking of the
not
future
here.
for me is causing fear and anxiety. And it's like, nope, bring yourself back,
Right.
you know, be in
Yeah.
the present, you know. Um, and let's see. Jan says Mike Dooley says thoughts
Thoughts
become
become.
things. I say what you think about you bring about another
Yeah.
t-shirt. Yep, there
Yeah.
you go. And mistakes can turn into gifts.
They, yes,
Well,
absolutely.
it cost a 25-year friendship, but we have cycles. For a lot of us, that's people that we got to walk away with from that we absolutely love.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
it's true.
okay, and then Jan says, "Wow, so sorry to hear that." Oh, yeah, it's yeah, we have our
Yes.
stories. A
Yes,
lot of
I
us
do
don't
try to do
realize.
that too, Jan, where what do I need to learn from this? Because you know what?
Hmm.
I know inherently and I'm saying this, I believe that all of us are good people. So why are we going through this? Like, why am I going through this? You know what I mean? And then I'm like, okay, what do I need to learn from this? I mean, I try to look at it with the highest level of optimism and gratitude and just try to bring as many positive things as I can. And sometimes I can't for a while. And that's okay too.
And I don't know if Moira's still here. I saved this from a while ago. Can we talk about that fiscus? Very pretty. So
You love
Moira, if
this
you watch this
guy.
back,
This is my guy right here. He's real.
isn't that beautiful? So yeah, I want to make sure that Moira's comment about your beautiful fiscus
Aw.
didn't and Lori
He
says,
loves
I
the
agree.
attention.
I mean, yeah, it's flourishing, loves the energy, it loves the positivity.
Yep.
I agree with Ray. Pen in the hand moments have I wrote for a good year. In 2018, my meds stopped working. I had to go to the hospital. They messed them up. It took me after a new doctor and getting on a new, you know, um, prescription. I have to say prescription, but a new regimen for medication. You know what got me through that year where my body had to readjust and was writing. Every morning I woke up, there was my coffee, no matter the anxiety or I just started writing whatever, even if it was the same thing that I wrote the day before. I would
Yep.
try to put something positive in there, but it was just I don't think I went more than a couple days at a time, if that, from not writing, waking up every morning. After a year, I had a full notebook. And after that year, I was in a much better place. And I was like, I picked up that book, I opened it, you could feel the energy. And you
Yeah.
knew it was in that release. And it's like, okay, you helped me get through this. It's time to let you go. And I got
Absolutely.
rid of it. So that writing does help, even
Yes.
if it's just a couple words at a time, just whatever might come to mind. At least the process of doing that and getting that pain out, getting whatever it is, excuse me, out, it really does help.
And I
And
find too, it helps me to just get like you said, get that emotions, get that out on
mhm.
paper, get it out of me. It's still there. I can acknowledge it, but just it's out now. And
Much love to you, Kelly.
yeah,
You're
much
gonna
love.
you're going to
Absolutely.
lay down and get some rest. Yeah, do that.
Yeah,
About the
absolutely.
fur
Blessings to you
babies.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
have a piece of cake. Your hubby makes such good things. Yes, we're all glad that you popped in, Kelly. It was nice to
Yeah,
see
it
you.
was
I
nice to
hope you
see you.
feel better, my dear. I have a confession to make. This is my very first YouTube.
Well,
Oh, really?
congratulations. It's so
Wow,
good. I
Jan.
feel
Well,
so
welcome.
honored that you're here.
Yes, welcome to the community. Welcome to the family. We're
I
the
was
best
you know
chatters
what?
here.
We call it a framily. Friends and family. We call it welcome to the
Family.
family.
There you go. Um, let's see here. Harley shared something too. I like to use the word issues instead of mistakes. The word issue seems more solvable
I agree.
to
I love
blame.
that. I love
Yeah.
it.
And I know that shadow work has become a very popular term now, but it really is when you really know how to do it and when you're really focused on working on it, it really does make a difference. And because we're taught to fear the shadow, but a lot of times that's wherein our greatest strength lies. And that's why you can't have the light without the shadow. They both
No, you can't.
embrace each other. They both,
Yes, that's the
support
balance.
each other. And that's the balance.
Yeah.
Yes. Um, so we're at 7:59. Did you want to do a collective Avana for
I
everybody?
thought we'd pull a quick card. Do you mind?
All righty.
I pulled out. I just got this deck, the Wisdom of the Oracle deck by
Oh,
Colette.
I've had that for a while. Isn't that a beautiful deck?
Very and beautiful, and I just got it. I was like, oh, I love it. So
I
let's
have
just
like
see.
9 of her decks, but actually it's Jenna Della Gratalia. I love her artwork. And she's
Yes.
got a lot of her own decks out now too. So I just love her.
I love the card that I got. I'm going to look it up here very
Me
quickly
too.
because I know that.
I'm gonna grab an extra one just to go with this one here because I have a healing.
I'm going to read
Right.
mine.
Let me put you up on the big screen so we
Okay.
can all see that. There
Here
we
we go. Mine says building blocks. And it is a 28, which is a 10. And it says strong foundations, a beautiful work in progress. Aren't we all, right? A beautiful work in progress. And it says you have everything you need to cultivate an extraordinary life. This is a time when your focus needs to be on the foundations you build upon. Your work, your relationships, and your very being are underwritten by your values, ethics, morals, and core beliefs. I'm going to see what the next sentence is. And that, are they still true for you? I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Will they stand the test of time and serve as the solid grounding upon which you construct your life? Now you are making changes that will affect everything in a positive way. Your destiny is truly a remarkable and beautiful design. What a beautiful card to get for tonight's chat.
Beautiful. Now, me, I end up having to do things in 3, but I will not keep everybody long. They're just perfect cards. So, I combined 2 decks together. These are both from the New Resurrection Oracle by Jenna Della Gratalia, who did the artwork that Avana's in her cards.
I
And the
love it.
card I got is unconditionally, which is unconditional love.
Yes.
Having the love for self, for nature, and the tenderness and the compassion that we show ourselves. The next card is the face you put on. We're talking about sometimes when we come on here, we have a certain face that we put on when we have to go out in the world or when we do our YouTube or when we talk to family. So sometimes we have to put on a certain face. And there are times when people don't realize what is actually, you know, behind that mask. Sometimes we have to wear them, you know, because of our jobs, because of our family, what we have to do day by day. But it's just I love the artwork on this card. And but the point with these 2 cards together is it's okay that we have to put on those faces sometimes. You know, it's not being fake. It's not being imposter. It's not the fake it till you make it. It's us having faith that we go about our day, we present who we are, what we need to be, but still have that love and compassion for ourselves at the end of the day. And from the unshakable, what is that? I cannot remember. From the unshakable inner peace oracle cards. And I love these because they give you a prompt to write. It says, eliminate distractions, stop shining light on things that you are not. How can you reclaim your power?
I love it.
Again, not to be ashamed. Sometimes you have to put on those masks to survive, to get through, and to remember to, love yourself unconditionally.
Yes, I love that.
Me too. Perfect cards. And I'm just going to check really quick to see if there are any last minute comments. Avana, do you have anything coming up that you would like to share on your channel?
Nothing that I wrote down that I can remember, but let's not forget if please, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel.
Yep.
I'm pushing to get to 500 subscribers. I'm at about
Let's get Avana up to
475. Mondays, I do my shorts pick a card. Tuesdays, I channel Super Duper Girl. Wednesday, I do my predictions videos, has a 3-card pick. Thursday are my energy readings for the week with a 3-card pick. And then Fridays are my weekend readings with a 3-card pick. Because you know why? I love my 3-card picks.
Because she loves her 3-card picks. And there are times when I feel drawn to click on one of those. And when I do, I know exactly what card to go to. And it completely resonates.
Oh,
so definitely check those out. Chloe says, thank you, Avana and Heather. You are welcome. Jan said all those cards from both of you fit the topic tonight and support us all being ourselves. Most definitely. Lori, the same. Thank you, Kaylee. Oh, Michelle Marie. So, all right. And you're welcome. Yes, thank you, everybody, for joining Avana and I. Thank you for letting us be able to do this. Because without y'all, we would just be sitting here talking to ourselves, which would be okay too.
We would still have fun.
Company, but it's nice when we have some people in chat hanging out with us.
Totally love it.
And yes,
thank you for having me.
Oh my God, you need a Calgon swim, not just a bubble bath. That's what I feel like. Some days, just dump that all in the swimming pool.
Yes. That's a good idea.
All right. Yes. Thank you, Michelle. So everybody, what's tonight? Today's Thursday. Okay. So tomorrow I have, really quick, I have Marina Heart Center Tarot coming to my channel at 3 p.m. We're going to be doing self-reflection readings. And then my Friday night with my girl, Allison, Aries Girl Tarot, hanging out, chatting, and maybe doing a few card pulls. And then Sunday, another evening of poetry and tarot with Jeff and I. And this week, Thomas from Tarot Your Way is our guest. So
Ooh,
thank you,
nice.
everybody, for the
Nice.
support. Make sure you go to Avana's channel, like, subscribe, do all that free YouTubey stuff. Her website is in the description. Her classes, what she offers, her readings. Um, she's
Thank
the real
you.
deal here, my dear.
Oh, thank you so much.
So everybody, thank you again. Have a great night, and we'll see you in the next live.
Namaste.
Bye.